Right, let's get back to the football, shall we? Yesterday, we reported that Liam Rosenior was the leading candidate to take over at Chelsea as they continued their search for a new head coach. Today, Rosenior's current team, Strasbourg, were in action in Ligue 1. Our reporter Gary Cottrell was there for us, taking on Nice in France's top division. Hi there, Gary. Good evening to you. So Rosenior was in the dugout for Strasbourg's draw with Nice. But of course, you'd imagine that talk in the post-match news conference would have been dominated by his future. So what did he have to say?
Yeah, you're right, it was, and he took lots of questions about his future. Listen, if he wants to be a successful Chelsea head coach, he's going to have to win games, win trophies, bring through youngsters, improve youngsters, and deal with tough media nights. The world focus is on Chelsea, of course, unlike the current job he's got at Strasbourg. And actually, he handled it all really well. He was open to all questions, played a straight bat in most of them. He said, look, I haven't discussed anything with the Chelsea hierarchy about specifically the Chelsea head coach job. But he says, of course, our sister club are looking for a head coach. If something happens, it happens. But he confirmed again his desire to work at the very top in football, and that means working in the Premier League. Obviously, you talk all the time to sporting directors at Chelsea because of the relationships. What are the talks specifically about you potentially becoming Chelsea head coach been like? What have you discussed as far as that's concerned?
I haven't discussed anything at this point. I know that they're looking for a manager. Obviously, it's our sister club. Other than that, I really want to focus on this club because, Gary, this club has given me so much, so many good memories, so many good times, the players, the fans. It's a great city. I don't think it's respectful to talk about anything else straight after a game that we've drawn. Like I said before, if something happens, it happens. At the moment, nothing's happened.
Liam Rosenior, Chelsea head coach, sounds nice, doesn't it?
Liam Rosenior, Strasbourg manager, sounds nice as well. I know that there's lots of speculation. I'd have to be an alien not to know.
Just the final one from me. Obviously, you've got some time off. I imagine, as discussed, no game now for a week. Could we see you at the Etihad on Sunday night from the stands watching Chelsea?
There's no plans to be there.
Craven Cottage on Wednesday?
There's no plans to be there.
The Valley next weekend?
Who knows?
The Arsenal semi-final in 10 days?
Who knows?
Liam, est-ce que tu peux nous dire si tu t'es déjà projeté sur le match contre Avanches?
Sorry. Are you already thinking about the game in French Cup against Avanches?
For sure. My job is here.
No plans to be there, no plans to be there. Changed, didn't it, to who knows and who knows when it came to the FA Cup next weekend and that Carabao Cup semi-final in 10 days' time. So the mood music here is that he is very much top of the list and potentially the new head coach at Chelsea. There was a feeling of goodbye as he hugged every single coach, every single player on the pitch at the end of the game. Went over as well and waved to the 300 or so Strasbourg fans. They haven't got anything to do as far as Strasbourg is concerned tomorrow. They got tomorrow and Monday morning off. He's due at training at Strasbourg on Monday afternoon. Will he be there?
That is the big question.
I mean, as I said, like, when you look at, there's other managers, there is other examples of it within the Premier League. You know, you look at Brighton right now, their model. There is no doubt, Tony Bloom will say, well, I'd imagine he'll say, Roberto De Zerbi is the best manager he's ever had. But it changed because he felt as if, you know, Brighton will bring the players in, the manager coach, or the coach coaches them, he goes, all of a sudden he wanted a bigger say in what was going on off the field. It doesn't work like that. You signed up for that. It doesn't matter the results. That's what you agreed to. The flip side of that as well, you look at somebody like David Moyes at West Ham. I mean, they would love to have him back right now. But all of a sudden there was people above wanting more control than what it was, and it wasn't for Moyes. The fans then started to turn. But it just shows you the people that were recruiting behind the scenes were absolutely miles off it and what David Moyes was saying at the time, the players that he wanted. West Ham would never be in the position they're in right now.
And
so
Dawes,
things change.
And Dawes, things have changed, absolutely, in terms of how clubs are run. But the Chelsea sources saying in the last few days that too often Maresca, in their opinion, ignored the medical advice about how many minutes certain players coming back from injury, and Mercer's already mentioned Cole Palmer, were allowed to play, and he went against that. When you were playing and you were coming back from an injury, who had the final say on when you were used and for how long?
Well, the manager made a decision if you were capable to play 90 minutes, and that's what it came down to. You'd been out for a large period of time, which I was on numerous occasions, and then the physios and the medical team would go, right, you're capable to go back in and play. And if you're capable to train, then the manager looks at you. If you've been out 2, 3, 4 weeks, are you capable to play a game to the levels that we need? And then the manager goes, all right, I might play 60 minutes. But this is where the game has changed. And managers, coaches have to accept that going in, because otherwise we see what's happened at Chelsea now. It's such a hard job, because I was watching the Bournemouth game when Cole Palmer was brought off, and I said to you, I'm as surprised as anyone that he's been taken off. But obviously Enzo Maresca had been probably told that you have to manage his minutes, plays are in the red zone. I mean, look, this is where the industry we're in at this moment in time, because you have to look. It's not just Chelsea. There's numerous clubs in the Premier League and these head coaches that are under pressure to keep players out there, keep them fit, manage game time for players. And it's a challenge because, Boydie, I agree with what you say there. Managers go in, they'll accept what the owners and the leadership group say, and then the goalposts change, because now as a manager, I've done well. I've brought the Club World Cup, and you go, do you know what? You know, the hierarchy, I will have a little bit more control, and I'll take decisions, because at the end of the day, I'm stood on that touchline and I'm getting pelters from the crowd. I have to bring results, and if those results aren't there, I'm getting trouble from the hierarchy, I'm getting criticised from the media, I'm getting criticised from the fans, and it brings pressure, and eventually you just go against it. And this is why I look. Are the older managers probably going out? Because they won't accept it. I think
that's a good point what you make, though, Doris, because you go back to when we were training and it was a case of the fitness coaches, everyone would say, oh, you're in the red zone, you have to stop. That wouldn't be very often for me, right enough. But when you're in the red zone, you had to stop. But all of a sudden, you then go to games, it would never happen. It's now happening in games. Yeah. You know, there is now fitness coaches at the side of the pitch telling managers, right, OK, we need to watch him. Because before, you weren't allowed the equipment on there to tell you exactly what was going on in game. It's now happening. I think it's just going to be a thing that's going forward.
Yeah, if he'd have lost 4 on the trot, he'd still be there. Like, he's come in and because he's doing well and his stock's high, he's gone in and gone, I'll mix it. You know, and if I do get the sack, I've left on a high. It's like if you owned a restaurant and the chef's doing well and the restaurant's packed, the chef wants a raise. Yeah. Chef goes in and goes, I want a bit more. Do you know what I mean? And this is what he's done. He's gone in. I think his contract as well. I read, I don't know how true it was, that he went in for another contract because of the Man City thing, and they've said no. I don't know how true that is.
Well, there are also suggestions he did the same thing after winning the FIFA Club World Cup as well.
But he's gone in because his stock's high. I think if he loses 4, the problem is, and this hurts me as a Chelsea fan, it's not a good job. You know, Silva's not after it, Areola's not after it, Glasner's not after it.
Is that because of the owners? I don't think
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
It's not a good job, though.
No, I think it's a good job, If you look at Chelsea in football, my era coming through, I look at that team.
No, I'm not. Chelsea's an unbelievable club, but I'm saying it's not a good club for someone where they're not in charge. They're just coaching.
But is this why these managers go back to Potter? His coach, and at Brighton he will have been given the players as a head coach to go and.
But if you're a manager, who's top of the league?
Arsenal.
Who's top of the league?
Arsenal.
Who's second?
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Who's third?
Man City.
And who's in charge of picking who they bring in? All them 3 managers are in charge of who they bring in.
It's a completely different...
And a slot of Liverpool will have been giving them players.
It's a completely different remit now at Chelsea. I agree with what you're saying. It's still a huge club, and every manager should jump at the chance. It's a totally different remit now compared to other clubs. The remit now at Chelsea, and it's been like it for the last few years, hence why Maresca's in there, is that they're bringing in a head coach that's going to develop players, young, the best talent across the world. They've spent nearly £1 billion on the best talent across the world to develop these young players.
So does Liam Rosenior then, Sidders, fit that bill?
For me, he does. Because I've seen him. I've played with Liam in the dressing room. I've seen him on a coaching aspect as well.